if you've seen my special on Netflix, Wet Heat, where I threw up in the car, I was on my way to Wilmington to enter that contest when I threw up everywhere in my car. In fact, it's a much longer story. I'll tell you right now. I was selling pesticides back then, and I had my Dodge Avenger. It was a 2008 Dodge Avenger. I really liked that car. I've talked about this car before, but like immediately getting the car, I flooded it. And then I had a wreck. I don't know where the wreck came in, if it was before or after the throw up in the car. But, I left. I was still selling pesticides, and I had the Myrtle Beach area. I lived in Charleston, but I also covered Myrtle Beach. So you go up Highway 17 from Charleston up to Myrtle Beach. So I stopped that morning. I made my first stop at the Mount Pleasant Lowe's, which is, that's on the way to Myrtle Beach. And this is how I would work it when I sold pesticides. I would have these long 2-hour drives. But the people at my company would not consider my day started until I had clocked into the first store. So I lived downtown. I don't know if I was actually living on James Island at this point, but, I was living on James Island. So I made my stop into the Mount Pleasant Lowe's, and typically what I would do is I would clock in and I would walk around. Mount Pleasant Lowe's was my biggest store, so it mattered anyway. It mattered that they saw me in there. It looked good for them to see me in there, even if I was hungover and just bebopping around. I had a little feather duster. They gave us a feather duster, and what I would do a lot of times is I would just walk up and down the pesticide aisle, and I would dust off all of my products, which is easy, and, it doesn't require a lot of sweat or work, but it also is helpful. Nobody wants to buy a bunch of dusty pesticides. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? From Dusty, but not Dusty themselves. And nobody wants that. So I would dust them off. That would be something I would do. So that's probably what I did that morning. I strolled in there and I dusted them off. And then I clocked out. So I clock in for 30 minutes or so, dust off everything, walk around a little bit. Then I clock out and leave. There was a Bagel Nation over there by the Mount Pleasant Lowe's that I used to like to go in a lot. I basically wrote the letters of the alphabet bit on the clock, clocked into that Mount Pleasant Lowe's, sitting in the Bagel Nation over there. Over, many weeks I wrote that bit. And if you can see that, I've had it animated. It's on YouTube now. Very funny. The numbers are doing well. It looks good. I had hoped it would blow up, but as it goes, nothing ever blows up for me. It's not a woe is me thing. Nothing. I'm just saying things do well, but they never explode in a way. But I think it's good. I think it's good because if something explodes to the highest of heights, you pick up a bunch of followers, and they may not be into your overall thing. They just like that one video, and then you pick up a bunch of followers, and then, I don't know, it messes up your ratios. You have a ton of followers, but your likes and your views don't make sense. All my stuff makes sense, I feel like. All right, so I clock out of that Lowe's, get in my car. I don't recall if I was hungover or not that day. It's likely, but I don't recall. And what I was going to do, I had this all worked out. I was dating a girl named Mary, and Mary was on a website called couchsurfing.com. And she had organized Couchsurfing was a website that they would let you stay on their couch for free. And I was definitely not making money in comedy. I was practically a hobbyist at the time. I may make a little money from a bar here and there, but I wasn't making a lot of money with comedy. So Mary set me up it was a girl's couch that I was going to stay at, and I had even talked to them. They were going to come to see me at the contest, and then we were probably going to have some drinks and then go back, and I would sleep on their couch. And then from there, I was headed up to, Annapolis, Maryland. My friend John Brennan he was living in New York City, and he used to set up shows in Annapolis, Maryland, where he would, I don't know. He set up a comedy contest one time. I went up and did it, and this time we were going to be doing comedy on a boat. My friend Tim Heckel was going to come down, and John's now wife, Dolly. I don't think they were married at the time, but they were all living in New York City. So I think they took a bus down to Baltimore and then got a ride to Annapolis and to put on this show. And so, it's a bit of a booze cruise. Me and Tim were going to do stand-up on the boat and then drink and party and probably eat some crab cakes and have a good old time. I was looking forward to it. I loved hanging with Tim. I loved drinking with Tim. I loved drinking with John, Dolly. It was going to be a great time. We were looking forward to the party. I liked Wilmington. I'd never been to Wilmington much, but I looked forward to going. So I get in my car, and this next part, I got no way to prove this, so don't go accusing them. But I did have this thought. I get in my car, and on my way out of the Mount Pleasant Lowe's, I pop into the Chick-fil-A. And I get myself some chicken minis and probably some hash browns, and I'm on my way. And I take a bite of one of these chicken minis, and I look at the chicken, and I go, it didn't look raw, but there was a little weird kind of brown piece inside of it. And I thought, that looks weird. But then I ate it. I just ate it. I ate them all. And then I shortly after, started to feel sick. Now, again, I got no way to prove it. I was living so bad that it could have been anything. There would be no way to prove at all what was going on. So I get on the road, and the first stop is about an hour and a half from Mount Pleasant. It's the Murrells Inlet Home Depot. It's either that or the Surfside Lowe's. I don't know which one I went to first, but I believe it was Murrells Inlet because my stomach had begun to hurt pretty bad. And so I pulled into Murrells Inlet, and I clocked in and went right to the bathroom. And I just sat in the bathroom the whole time I was there. Let's say 30 minutes. And I felt bad. I was like, oh, gosh. And, yeah, I was using the bathroom. I wasn't throwing up, though. I was using the bathroom. And then I clock out. I'm like, I'm too sick to work. And at this point, I don't know what to do because I've already made all these plans. But I'm like, I'm going to get my way through it here. So I drive up, and the next stop is the Myrtle Beach Lowe's or Home Depot. I don't remember which one, but I know I clocked in, went right to the bathroom. Same thing. I might have even grabbed one of those orange Home Depot buckets on my way in there, thinking I was going to throw up. And then I stayed there the whole time. Then I drove up to the North Myrtle Beach Lowe's or Home Depot, clocked in, straight to the bathroom once again. And then, and I just felt terrible. And then I went, my final stop, to the Charlotte, North Carolina Lowe's or Home Depot. That was my furthest store north, was the Charlotte Lowe's or Home Depot. And the same thing. My stomach was hurting so bad. And I was using the bathroom in a way that you would use the bathroom if you have food poisoning. Without getting, too detailed. You understand. But no throwing up. My stomach just felt awful. And I thought, you know what? My stomach was so swollen and so hard that I was like, I need to burp. It was before I burped like a maniac. There is many, many reasons that my stomach is the way that it is today. I treated my body very bad for a long time. And in a way, I feel like I deserve the punishment that I've done to my body. I deserve the pain for the punishment I've done to my body. But I'm working on it. I'm working on being a better person. I am a better person than I was then, but I'm always working to be a better person. But I was Uh, so sick. So I bought a Sprite on my way out of there, and I'm driving my Dodge Avenger, and I believe I was on an interstate at this point. I could have been on 17 still. I could have been on 95. I don't know what it is that runs straight up like that. Who knows? Someone knows, but I'm not going to look it up. It doesn't matter. But I'm on the interstate. It's a hot day. I'm stuck in traffic, and then I threw up. I thought I had to burp, and I threw up on the inside of my windshield. It was disgusting. And I cleaned it up with a shirt. I kept throwing up. I had to get out of the car, ran over to the side of the car, kept throwing up. Cars were everywhere. It was insane. And I had to clean it up with a shirt I really liked. I believe I left that shirt laying on the side of the road. I probably had some fast food napkins, as I say on the special. And it wasn't enough. Whatever I had, it wasn't enough. And I think I have always been pretty smart. But for whatever reason, I didn't think to just go to a Walmart, buy a bunch of paper towels, buy a bunch of, cleaning spray, and just clean the car up.